At this point in the Cogeco News broadcast, we're inside the yourTV studio, out of the rain and freezing rain in a dry studio, so we're happy to have you in here on this Monday. Nipissing-Timiskaming Member of Parliament, Pauline Rochefort, thanks for being here today.
Hello, Clarke. Yes.
First and foremost, we start with the international news concerning the war in Iran, the Strait of Hormuz. The United States President Donald Trump is calling on allies to help him open that flow of oil on tankers. What is the thought from the Canadian government on the approach to this?
But Clarke, first I'd like to say a few weeks ago we did discuss the war when it had been declared, and I had asked to encourage citizens from the city to contact our office if they needed help with relatives that were caught in the Middle East. And thank you very much to Cogeco, because we did have families that reached out to us. We were able to help bring back their loved ones here to our community. So thank you for that. It made a difference. Well, certainly, I mean, the war on Iran is evolving. Us as a country, we continue to say what's important to us is protecting civilians, protecting civilian infrastructure, and working with our allies. And certainly this weekend, if our Prime Minister has been with the Nordic countries, Finland, Sweden, Iceland, and so on. And today, as such, he's in the United Kingdom with the Premier Starmer. And they've basically, the agreement is that we have to ensure safe passage of large ships for shipments through the Strait of Hormuz. And so that is the position, and they are exploring diplomatic ways to resolve that particular conflict. And so it is too early to tell what will be the outcome, but certainly our country is a participant in those discussions from a NATO perspective. Here at home, certainly the price of gas, people are increasingly concerned. And just a quick word on that, because as we know, the Canadian government and the province of Alberta had signed a memorandum of understanding a few months ago. And so last week they moved on the first component of that, which is a significant component, which is one project, one review, just as we've done here in Ontario with the province of Ontario, especially with the Ring of Fire, to be able to move forward. And so that's been now dealt with and moving forward.
We're coming up to a year since the last federal election, and despite not having gone to the polls in almost a year, MPs are joining the Liberal Party as defectors of other parties, and the latest to do so was from Nunavut. An NDP MP has crossed the floor to join the Liberals.
Every situation is different, but certainly I just look right now at, I mentioned our Prime Minister was in the Nordic countries, and the heads of states from those countries spoke about publicly and in the media about our Prime Minister's leadership and expertise. And so as they sense that around the world, that we have a Prime Minister that has strong credentials, also at a government level, MPs in all parties sense and see that as well.
On April 13th, 3 federal by-elections will be held. I asked MP Rochefort if the government's approach will change if they are granted a majority.
At this point, we are with the MPs that have already crossed at 170 seats, and for a majority, we require 172 seats. And so there are currently 3 by-elections that have been called in Canada. They were just recently called, and they'll be held on April 13th. And so basically, if the existing governing party was to win all of those elections, it would mean that the government would have a majority. It means the government is able to move forward with the legislation that it views as being necessary at that particular point in time for its country or its province.
Nipissing-Timiskaming Member of Parliament, Pauline Rochefort, thank you for being here on this Monday.
Thank you very much, Clarke.